After a fairly extensive 15-part series on Bards College expansion, you probably didn't expect to see another video covering this creation. However, even after completing it with each and every ending, there was still a handful of things left for me to cover. Some of the information that I'll be sharing in today's video comes courtesy of the creation team itself, others from some really helpful YouTube comments. So hopefully this video will help to show a couple things that I had missed or might have been confused about previously. The first of which is in regards to Helvana, who is indeed a marriage candidate. This can be unlocked by completing her personal quest Resonance, which triggers immediately after retrieving the sword Venzakri for Sledrig. This quest in turn allows for Helvana to shout, which also gives you access to the best ending for the creation, in which both Sledrig and Volgovsinon are restored to their original forms. Shortly after completing the main quest line and its brief epilogue, returning to the college will grant you a new conversation with Peras.
Oh, there you are. I have been looking for you.
Professor Peras? What is it?
Master Sledrig had informed us of his departure. We understand his reasons, but still, we're saddened to see him go. He was a fine bard. His absence leaves vacant an important position, one the college is reluctant to see empty. Given your past service to the college and your training under Sledrig, myself and the other teachers have agreed to offer you the title of Archbard of Songcraft. Assuming you want it, of course.
I like that little pause of like, if you want to be. What comes with this title? Would I have new responsibilities?
Naturally, we wouldn't expect you to teach here.
Hey, why not?
We know how much you like to travel. You'd be more of a figurehead, an exemplar to others, showing the very best that the Bards College has to offer. So, in summary, you would not have to do very much. You'd receive a highly sought-after title, and you'd be given permanent free residence here at the college. If you want my opinion, it's an extremely good deal.
Man, Archbard of Songcraft and the Grand Fool. You can turn it down, but no, I accept.
Wonderful! I'll inform the others and make sure the students know as well. We wouldn't want them accidentally disrespecting you now, would we? Please, consider Sledrig's old quarters your own. And a hearty welcome to your new position, Archbard of Songcraft.
Not bad. So now we get the top suite, now we get the, I'm gonna call it the master suite, because no one else has a room as big as Sledrig's.
Is that... Are you wearing an amulet of Mara?
Mm-hmm.
Are you... perhaps looking to marry?
Well, I wasn't just wearing it for fun. Oh, please don't walk away, but thank you for the necklace. See? You're giving me jewelry already. Oh, it's not letting me select it.
As you wish.
Okay.
I'm always glad when you're around.
It wasn't letting me select it, so I just exited out and tried it again.
What sort of question is that? Who wouldn't want to marry someone like you? I just figured, you'd already have someone. But if not, well, might you be interested in someone like me?
She sounds so meek about it. Sorry, no, yes, I'm more than interested.
Wait, really? I don't know what to say. I mean, I obviously had those kinds of feelings for you, but I had no idea if you felt the same about me. But I guess you do feel that way. I'd love to marry you.
Oh.
I can't think of anything else that would make me happier.
Oh, that's sweet.
You should arrange the wedding as soon as you can. Oh, I can hardly wait.
Oh. Poor Ulvis just watching here. It's like, oh.
I can't wait for our wedding.
I liked her.
I'm so excited I can barely contain it. But I'll try my best. Still, you should hurry to the Temple of Mara.
I'll go. I'll hurry there now. Poor Ulvis is just sitting here going, oh,
you performed your voice
I
exercises
told
today?
you that I liked Helvana, and I just
Perfection
watched
takes
you
dedication.
two agree to get married before me. Okay, Oh, never mind. I'll just sit here and keep playing the lute. How do you like my Olvis impression?
Welcome back to the temple, messenger.
I'd like to have a wedding at the temple.
You wish to be married? It's good to see love blossoming even during these difficult times. Your wedding will be held tomorrow, from dawn until dusk. Don't be late. You don't want to miss your own wedding.
I kinda want
May you
Sledrick to
return
be
to her
here.
benevolence in safety.
Just because I feel like it would be a little weird if, he said, oh, I want to be more involved, as a father, and he didn't show up to Helvana's wedding.
Ah, here's the blushing bride now.
Don't mind the
Let's
arrows
begin
on
the
my
ceremony.
back.
It was Mara that first gave birth to all of creation and pledged to watch over us as her children. It is from her love of us that we first learned to love one another. It is from this love that we learn that a life lived alone is no life at all.
She didn't get dressed up, I
gathered
didn't
here
get dressed
today
up, it's fine.
Under Mara's loving gaze, to bear witness to the union of two souls in eternal companionship. May they journey forth together in this life and in the next, in prosperity and poverty, and in joy and hardship.
I didn't see
Do
Sledrick
you
out there
agree
is
to
all
be
I'm
bound
saying.
together in love, now and forever?
I do. Now and forever.
Do you agree to be bound together in love, now and forever?
I do. Now and forever.
Under the authority of Mara, the divine of love, I declare this couple to be wed. I present the two of you with these matching rings, blessed by Mara's divine grace. May they protect each of you in your new life together.
I never wear that ring.
We're
Which-
married!
Not my fault. It's not that
I've never
good.
been so happy. We ought to pick somewhere to live. We could always stay at the college. If you want to.
Well, we do have our own room at the college, but we could also stay right next door. Let's live in my house in solitude.
Then that is where we shall be together.
Congratulations on your wedding.
Thank you.
I'm so happy for both of you.
Man, no one showed up. No one really came. No one from the Bards College.
I found something I think you might like.
Ooh. Yeah, so a lot of the, standard dialogue options that you get when you get married. She doesn't open a shop, though, which is also fine because I feel like I never got much out of that anyway. Would you mind cooking something for me?
Here. I'm not much of a cook, but for you, I'll always do my best.
Oh, see, that's a good attitude to have for marriage. And, yeah, I'm guessing she still doesn't act as a follower.
I appreciate the offer, but I don't think so.
Was worth a shot.
Sure, I go out exploring and, more times than not, find myself swinging a sword or letting loose an arrow. But I'm not like you. I'm not one for danger and adventure. At least, not if I can help it. So, thank you for the offer, but I shall pass.
In my other video, I expressed some concern that you wouldn't be able to reset the 3 custom chants of Ah, Ba, and Kra once you had set them. However, I was informed from the creation team that you can reset them, that you are able to essentially wipe them clean and redo the chants simply by reading the books again. So ultimately, you do have a way to experiment with different chants to easily say, oh, I don't like this one as much, I want to change it up, and, go in, reset it, and set a completely new one. One thing I am going to do, because I learned that it didn't necessarily work as well for when using it in a chant, is that I didn't necessarily like the resonant effect of disarm. So I'm just gonna cleanse that one, and other than that, I do like the 2 chants that I did wind up using. It would take a ridiculous amount of time to really show off every single resonant shout. However, I want to show off just a couple more. I'm gonna try Stormcall.
Thrun Bakwa!
Stormcall becomes Storm Channel. The wielder and their allies do shock damage with melee weapons while Stormcall is active. Alright, so that's a buff not just to you, but also to anyone following you. One that I'm curious about to see if it does have a resonant effect, just because it's new and just because we got it from the creation, is I want to see if it works for Summon Sledrig. It does, and look at that, I actually have to fight Sledrig's shadow for it too. So it's just Sledrig on Sledrig. It's good Sledrig versus bad Sledrig. I kind of want to see which one wins. I like to think that bad Sledrig is the weird, younger, kind of evil one that I really didn't like. So I hope my Sledrig, I hope good Sledrig wins.
Yo!
Alright, I think good Sledrig's got this. Oh, good Sledrig going for the kill. Thank you. And that gives us Sledrig Dragon Hunter. Okay, that makes sense. Sledrig does 100% more damage to dragons. Well, you're gonna get quite the workout then. And the last of which that'll be showing off for this is Cyclone. Cyclone becomes Cyclone Assist, which just sounds like Cyclone Assist. I'm just imagining multiple of them. Ooh, Cyclone applies a Whirlwind Cloak to the caster. I feel like to really show that off, I would need to go find an enemy. I don't know if that would really be something I can show off properly here. So let's see how this works. I want to be in third person for this, because I can see a little bit of the effect of the Whirlwind Cloak. It doesn't send them flying though, but I want to see what the active effect is that I have on right now. Whirlwind Cloak for 60 seconds, opponents in melee range have a chance of being flung away. So not guaranteed, which I think makes sense because, yeah, that might get a little overpowered if it is immediate. Although, the chance of it seems pretty decent. I've already pushed him over a couple times now. And the one last thing to note that I had probably just misunderstood in playing through the creation and playing through it is that for chanting, you can use all 3 words of the shout. It's not just the first word.
You won't live to see tomorrow.
The only thing is that when you use all 3 words of the shout, it does lead to you using more magicka from the cadence rod in order to recharge your shout in order to use the next word. But in that case, yeah, chants have the potential to be much more powerful because you're just stacking 3 full shouts on top of each other.
Absolutely. I've marked a potential location on your map. Happy hunting.
And what would you know, there's another shout that we can get. Spectral Rift. I had seen this in the comments. I saw someone mention that there was yet another shout to find. I did not expect that. Once again, given that these are all at vanilla locations, I'm just going to grab the tablet, come back, and hopefully find the other words as well. That way I can show off the shout in full. And I do believe this to be the final shout, because when I went to Tiriana again, she said that she believed that my search for the tablets had finally reached its end. Still, I wasn't even expecting another shout, so it's a nice surprise. And that gives us the 3 words of Spectral Rift. Another shout. Your voice breaches the ether, silencing the Thuum of your foes. So that would be really good against dragons then. Dragons and Draugr. Ooh. Alright. Let's see if I can empower this. Let's see if I can make this resonant. That's a yes. That is gonna be a yes. Man, where was this shout before? Where was this when I needed it? This is like silence. This is old school silence, but for shouts. That makes me happy. Spectral Shatter. Let's take a look. Yeah, and there you go. Shatter Spirit, that's the buff from the regular shout itself. Prevents the target from shouting for 60 seconds. And Spectral gives it increased duration. Also works. That works perfectly fine. Oh, and I get a little bit of an effect. I get a visual effect as well. Since I have Sky UI on, I can see, you know, the timer. I can see the buff in the upper right-hand corner, but if you don't, if you're not using Sky UI, you do get a visual benefit, a visual indicator as well. And the final thing that I want to show off is the last two ballads that I haven't yet composed, the Thieves Guild and the Dragonborn DLC. For this, we'll start with the Thieves Guild.
Yes, well,
Shouldn't
you
you
at it.
keep that quiet?
Nah.
No? Well, alright. Tell me how it all happened. Just avoid anything too incriminating.
You seem a little bit of a blabbermouth.
That wasn't as bad as I expected.
It's not as bad as the Dark
Well,
Brotherhood.
in terms of narrative, already seeing a few avenues we could go down. There once was a rogue with a knack for the game, a swindler true, but not one without shame. A thief through and through, with a heart of gold.
Aww.
And this tale's but one that hasn't been told.
I don't know about Heart of Gold, but I'll take
See,
it.
they vexed an old burglar renowned of deed, who lived beneath rift and swilling in greed. The rats ran a tight crew of misfits and crooks, all the while robbing them right off the books. Folk naturally hate thieves.
Understandable.
But such tales can be given a positive spin. Speaking of thieves, what shall we say Mercer Frey thought of you?
We had a mutual respect and a beneficial relationship for a time. He was wary, you could tell my natural talents outstripped his. There was fear in his eyes, and who could blame him? Mutual respect for a time.
Then the new thief arrived, and was deft at their trade, and the old dog was struck by the gold that they made. The old coot made a plan that could use this great skill, then at the right time their wealth he would steal. When Chants came at last to remove this loose thread, he stabbed in the back and then left them for dead. No honor amongst that particular thief,
Right?
You obviously survived the betrayal, but how should we paint such a picture?
Though injured, I could not allow such dishonor to go unanswered. Divine intervention, someone out there likes me. Blood, sweat, tears, and wrath, I would have my vengeance. I would not allow such dishonor to go unanswered.
The new blood survived and quickly took flight, but the old thief had disappeared into the night.
After all. Yes, well.
And so they returned to old Riften below, where they told of the treacherous thief and his woes. Now, after all that, how do we end this story?
My course was as righteous as it could be, so naturally people followed. Used my mind and talents, cunning and guile, saw me true.
But the bastard took flight with their treasures in tow, so they hunted him down by the tracks in the snow. Then they cut down the greedy old thief as he strode, and stole off his corpse all the gold they were owed. On him they found Nocturne's treasures, they say, but that's a tale for another day.
Ooh, Leave it on the cliffhanger, I like it.
So let it be known to all who deceive that honor still lives among those called thieves. Despite the subject matter, that turned out to be quite the adventure.
Right, we didn't do a lot of thieving.
This song deserves a wide audience. I'll make sure it's passed on to bards far and wide. The audience is eager for more. I foresee taverns filled to bursting when some lucky bard gets to sing this ballad.
And finally, the Dragonborn DLC.
There's more than one? Well, you've got some explaining to do.
Have you performed your voice exercises today?
I see.
Always.
This
Perfection takes
Mirak,
dedication,
not
after
quite
all.
what I expected.
Yes.
Kind of a jerk.
But I think I've got an
That is
opening
all.
in mind. Hear and obey, the first servant arrives, bearing his blade at the rising of tides. I like that. Now, we arrive at the Dragonborn, I know. How do we bring you into this? A little artistic license is encouraged.
His lackeys drew my ire, provoking me to action. I flew in on the back of a dragon. I sensed an adversary worthy of notice. Let's go a little grandiose for this one.
The Dragonborn comes, on pale wings they fly, to ashes of Solstheim they take to the skies. Listen and pray, for Mirak draws near, from realms of fate, wisdom and fear. As I understood it, it was somewhat of an ordeal gaining the knowledge to defeat Mirak.
Yeah.
How should we describe that?
Is tentacly an adjective? Because it should be. Disturbing, not something for the faint of heart.
The Dragonborn drinks from the font profaned, through it accursed knowledge attained.
I'll say.
Defy and dismay, for the first blade alights, first of the dragon blood fall into night. I think it's time we drew this one to its close. Now, how shall we say you defeated your foe?
Because I was going to say you kind of breezed over it, but I was like, no, the Dragonborn main story wasn't actually that long. Tempered and just might. Mastery of magic with brutal and unstoppable power. Tempered and just might.
The Dragonborn balance the scales of the clash, vanquish opposer and banish to ash. I think that's it. It was fairly short, but the best ones often are. This is a good ballad. I'll start to circulate it with bards I'm acquainted with. The audience is eager for more. I foresee taverns filled to bursting when some lucky bard gets to sing this ballad.
Well, that's the entire Dragonborn collection. That
You there.
is
Have you
all
performed
of
your
them.
voice exercises today?
And the final thing I want to do, I waited a couple days, I want to see what my reputation is.
Every bard and local speaks of you with reverence. Your stories are ones they'll tell for generations to come. I'm proud to have penned them. What's more, your tales have inspired much admiration and respect among folk. Many perceive you to be quite honorable.
And that depends, that changes based on the way that you go about doing your ballads. If you present yourself as more honorable, they'll see you as honorable. If you talk about yourself as being, bloodthirsty, treacherous, they're gonna perceive you in that way instead. So you really have a lot of ways to shape your own perception. You have a lot of ways to really decide how everyone's going to judge you based on these ballads.